Good morning, friends. This is Sandeep from India Beckons, and what a way to wake up! Bum bum hole, bum bum hole, bum bum hole. The rhythmic chants of devotees standing in the queue since early morning wake me up, and I get set to visit the temple of Baba Kedarnath. But before that, I would like to show you the awesome location where we had stayed for the night. Just get out of the room and you're in the Mandir Prangan. How lucky I feel to have got this vantage location of accommodation during the peak time. Staying close to the temple has many positives, the primary being that you have the luxury of soaking in the divine vibrations at any time, be it morning, noon, evening, or even late night, when most of the devotees have either retired or left the Mandir complex. I tell you, being so near to the great temple allows you to have a one-to-one with the Almighty in complete silence, a feeling which cannot be expressed in words but can only be experienced. Friends, in this video, I would take you on a journey to the Rudra Meditation Cave, more popularly known as the Modi Cave, and give you a lot of information about the Kedarnath temple, as well as the special pujas that you can perform at Kedarnath. Here, I would also cover the beauty and the divinity of the Sham Ki Aarti in its entirety. So please stay tuned in till the end and enjoy this video. I hope you would definitely like it. Right now, I'm in the Mandir Prangan. Here you can see the long queue of pilgrims and devotees, all waiting to have a darshan of the Lord. The queue had formed since early morning, and going by that standard, we were quite late to join the queue. Kedarnath is a holy paradise in India, an enigma, a spiritual magnet that draws the world towards it. No wonder, enduring the hardship of the journey, pilgrims and devotees have been visiting this place since time immemorial. For some, it is just a beautiful trek. For some, it's just a temple. For some, it's the road to moksha and salvation. But for them, where faith resides, it is Kedarnath. As regards me, I am no different, and Kedarnath draws me like a magnet. Here is our team, very happy and cheerfully waiting in the queue for our turn to enter the temple. The Kedarnath temple is a part of the Chota Char Dhams and a Panch Kedar in Uttarakhand. It is also one of the 12 Jyotirlingas of Lord Shiva in India. The temple was originally built in the 8th century AD by Jagat Guru Sri Adi Shankaracharya. The inner walls of the assembly hall are decorated with figures of various deities and scenes from mythology. Dedicated to Lord Shiva, the Kedarnath temple has exquisite architecture. Built of extremely large, heavy and evenly cut grey slabs of stones, it evokes wonder as to how these heavy slabs were moved and handled in the earlier centuries. The temple has a Garbhagriha for the worship and a mandap apt for the assemblies of pilgrims and devotees. A conical shaped formation inside the temple is worshipped as Lord Shiva in his Sadashiv form. For the sake of convenience of our viewers, we asked our Kedarnath Tirth Purohit, Acharya Sri Santosh Trivedi ji, to tell us about the deities inside the temple. Kindly listen to what Acharya ji has to say about it.
भगवान बोलते हैं कि सबसे पहले मेरे गणों का दर्शन करो। पहले बाहर पे नंदी है, फिर विघ्न विनाशन गणेश जी हैं, फिर सभा मंडप अंदर, फिर जैसे प्रवेश द्वार है, प्रवेश द्वार से अंदर जाओ, वहाँ पे पंच पांडवों की वो है मूर्तियां, और वहाँ पे उसी सभा मंडप में वीरभद्र जी हैं, उसी सभा मंडप में एक पीतल के नंदी जी हैं, जो उनके कान में जो है भक्त द्वारा मनोकामना बोल दी जाती है, और वो मनोकामना शीघ्र ही केदारनाथ में आए हुए भक्तों की पूर्ण होती है।
What strikes you as soon as you enter the Mandir Prangan is the massive statue of Nandi, which is located in the temple courtyard just in front of the Mukhya Dwar or the main gate. However, you are not able to get a view of the Pindi or the Lingam in the Sanctum Sanctorum from outside the entrance or the Mukhya Dwar. I spoke to Acharya ji, who enlightened me that as per the Hindu Dharma, Nandi should be worshipped first before worshipping Lord Shiva. Secondly, one should not stand or sit between the Pindi and Nandi while worshipping Lord Shiva. According to him, the Hindu Dharma prescribes that one must have a darshan of Nandi by touching both its horn before having a darshan of the Pindi. This is known as Shunga Darshan. He also explained that actually the radiance emanating from the Shiva Pindi is too powerful for an ordinary individual to tolerate. If the Shiva Pindi is viewed directly instead of through the Nandi's horn, the individual may be struck by the powerful waves of radiance of the Pindi and may face some physical problems. The powerful sattvic waves emanating from Shiva are first attracted and absorbed by Nandi, and then Nandi emits them back into the environment. The significance or importance of Nandi is that he emits them only as per the requirement and the capacity of the person seeking to receive it. Hence, the individual having darshan of the Pindi does not obtain the waves directly from Shiva, he receives it via Nandi. He is not distressed by the powerful waves of Shiva. A very interesting learning, I felt. We worshipped Nandi, and here at Kedarnath, devotees massage the body of Nandi with ghee, light incense sticks and ghee diyas, and whisper their wishes into Nandi's ears. We had with us Acharya Santosh Trivedi, Kedarnath Purohit, and asked him about the different types of special pujas that are organized at the Kedarnath temple. Please listen to what he has to say.
शाम को भगवान की आरती की जाती है और तब यात्रा चलती है। तुरंत फिर भगवान को भोग लगा के फिर जो है कि श्रृंगार वगैरह वो करके 10:30-11 बजे से विशेष पूजाएं होती है। उसमें अलग अलग 3-4 पूजाएं हैं। एक तो पंच पूजा है,
पंच पूजा, अच्छा,
है ना, एक षोडशोपचार पूजा है,
अच्छा,
और एक भगवान के अभिषेक है,
अच्छा,
और एक भगवान का महाअभिषेक है। 4 पूजाएं अभी जो उन्होंने उनका जो है
हाँ, हाँ,
मेन्यू है पूजा का भगवान का ट्रस्ट द्वारा,
हाँ.
वो अभी ऐसा है।
For the convenience of devotees, I would like to mention that these special pujas are organized by the temple committee, and one has to make prior payment to perform these pujas at specified times. The Kedarnath temple is synonymous with sadhus, agoris as well as Naga Babas sitting all around the temple. These agoris, sadhus and Naga Babas come from different parts of India as well as from Nepal. Some of them sit all around the temple waiting for alms, while others make themselves noticeable and prominent by their costumes, unique mannerisms and looks. Again, some among them consider themselves a top crowd puller after having been a part of the famous 2018 movie Kedarnath, featuring the late Sushant Singh Rajput and Sara Ali Khan. People flocked to them for photos, and I was no different. I captured their movements on my camera and tried to get a peek into their daily life activities. This Naga Baba, smeared in ashes and wearing his trademark traditional hat and the red robe, has a special affinity of playing the damru. His hat is decorated and adorned with beads, plastic and paper flowers, dangling pendants, and topped with a small silver trishul. He seems to be very possessive about his hat. He was very camera friendly, and seeing me capturing his video, picked up his damru and swung into action, playing his damru in a nice rhythm for the camera and blessed devotees. Here is another Naga Baba who shot to fame after the death of Sushant Singh Rajput. A photo of his praying for the departed soul of Sushant Singh Rajput in front of a photo of him along with Sushant Singh Rajput went viral. He too occupies a position near the temple and enjoys being photographed. He has his face smeared in ashes. His trademark is a tall brass trishul draped in red chunni and a dangling damru which he keeps besides him during the day and poses with it during the aarti in the evening. He remains draped in striped tiger skin silk gown and has a lot of Rudraksh malas around his neck as well as his wrist. He stays for 6 months at Kedarnath till the temple remains open, and for the next 6 months moves to Devi Garhwal. We started on a parikrama around the temple, and behind the temple we came across this interesting huge boulder smeared in vermilion with coins stuck to its surface. This boulder has been named the Bhimshira. After the Chorabari glacier breached, water came hurling down towards the temple and the town of Kedarnath, bringing along with it huge rocks, boulders, moraines, silt and mud. One such rock rolled down and stopped right behind the temple. This enormous rock divided the water into 2 directions on both sides of the temple and was instrumental in saving the temple from the havoc. The water from these took away all that came on its way, including the bridge, guest houses, shops, establishments and houses. Kedarnath, the town, bore the brunt of nature's fury and was washed away. But Kedarnath, the shrine, survived. Call it a miracle or an engineering and architectural marvel, the shrine survives and continues to attract the devout to this day. Many people have now started worshipping this rock. They credit this rock for saving the temple and have started looking at it with reverence. Today, the boulder has an important significance in the history of the Kedarnath flood and the survival of the temple. After we saw the Bhimshila, we walked down the stairs towards the Amrit Kund. We asked Acharya ji about the significance of the Amrit Kund, and this was what he had to say.
भगवान शंकर का जो भी षोडशोपचार पूजा हो, जो भी भगवान को सामग्री चढ़ती हो, जो भी भगवान को अभिषेक करते हो, वो एक अमृत के रूप में बन जाता है। जब भगवान का अभिषेक होता है, वो अमृत के रूप में बाहर आ जाता है। मतलब बाहर अपने आदि अनादिकाल से जो अमृत निकलता है, जो चरणामृत, भगवान का चरणामृत निकलता है, वो पीछे से ऐसा है कि वो जैसे कोई आशीर्वाद का मंत्र दे दे या उससे आचमनी कर दे। बोलते हैं कहीं जन्मों के पापों का नाश हो जाता है। वो आदमी तमाम जो भी दर्शन करते हैं उसके बाद जो है परिक्रमा के लगाते समय उस जल का आचमन करते हैं।
This concludes our Kedarnath darshan. We then proceeded towards the Bhairav temple or the Bhairav Baba temple. This temple is situated south of the Kedarnath temple on the eastern hill of the lofty Himalayas of Uttarakhand. The temple is dedicated to Bhairav, the fierce manifestation of Lord Shiva associated with destruction and devastation. Bhairav is the Khetrapal or the protector of the Kedarnath temple as well as the entire Kedar valley, especially when the kapat is closed from Deepavali to Akshaya Tritiya. Darshan of the Bhairav temple is considered essential to complete the Kedarnath pilgrimage. It is about 500 meters from the Kedarnath temple. The aerial view of the Kedarnath valley from the Bhairav temple is mesmerizing. We are now on the way to the Rudra meditation cave. The way to the Rudra cave is from the western side of the Kedarnath temple. Now for those who might be confused as to which side is the western side, I have a simple thumb rule. When you stand facing the Kedarnath temple, your left hand points to the western side. So, facing the Kedarnath temple, you have to walk left to reach the approach to the Rudra caves. I hope that makes it easy. Now, you have to come across the stairs onto the bank of the river Mandakini and cross a small makeshift bridge. This is the bridge across the river. Here you can see a few sadhus moving towards the old abandoned route. We would not be going towards this route. Once you cross the small bridge, you come across a point where the left path goes towards the old deserted route and the right path leads you to the Rudra caves. We would be following the right path. The path to the right was not a very steep one, but then, having walked the 16 kilometers the previous day from Kozhikode to Kedarnath, our legs were a little bit tired. However, under any circumstances, we did not want to miss the aerial view of the entire Kedarnath valley from the Modi caves. Hence, we kept on pushing. This is one view of the path. This is another view of the path from a different angle. As you can see, the path is a slow, gradual ascent. And as you walk along, you gain height, and every moment of your walk makes you admire the scenic beauty of the place. The Kedarnath temple seems to go further as you go higher and higher. Sitting arrangements have been made for those who want to undertake the journey through this path. You can always take rest at any of those places. Even though the helipad is at a distance of 2.5 to 3 kilometers away from where we are, you can still hear the sound or the noise of the helicopters breaking the silence of this place.
Which rasta is this? ये जो सामने है ना, इसी रास्ते से आए क्या हम लोग? ये रोड से आए ना?
The primulas swaying in the gentle breeze, the minute blue flowers spread over the sides of the mountain, interspersed with wild strawberry plants here, would definitely attract any nature lover to admire the beauty of this place. This is another view of the path, and you can see the Modi cave or the Rudra cave in the middle of your screen. At some portions, the path has narrow stone steps laid securely, and as you move up, the scenic beauty gets even more mesmerizing. The path now is a mere 2.5 feet wide, and walking along this path gives you the feeling of trudging along any hilly rustic village path. It takes a maximum of 45 minutes to reach the place, but then the 45 minutes can get stretched if you are a nature lover wanting in to soak the beauty as you walk along. I have already noticed a number of Himalayan flowers which I would capture on my way down. This is the last bend, after which it is a straight walk up to the Rudra caves. We have now reached the Rudra caves. Such a serene place to be. The gurgling sound of the Pahari stream passing by the cave is sweet music to the ears, and the 180-degree view of the Himalayas from the top with the Kedar Valley below is simply an out-of-the-world experience. However, you can enjoy the actual serenity of the place only during the time the helicopter services do not operate, which is after 5 in the evening till 7 in the morning. Actually, the serenity of the place gets badly disturbed by the echoing sound generated by the helicopters flying non-stop throughout the day in quick succession. Another sound which you can hear from the top throughout the day is of the announcements made on the public address system by the temple committee of missing persons and the frantic calls made by their friends and relations. Located 1.5 kilometers left of the Kedarnath temple complex, the Rudra cave is a meditation cave constructed by the Nehru Institute of Mountaineering and is a part of the Garhwal Mandal Nigam's chain of guest houses. This cave overlooks the majestic Kedarnath temple and the Bhairav temple. It offers a very nice aerial view of the entire Kedar Ghati against the backdrop of the snow-clad mountains. This cave is built on a mountain on the western bank of the river Mandakini and offers amenities for a stay and a peaceful spiritual practice at the holy site of Kedarnath. Rudra cave is also popularly known as Dhyan Gufa. Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi meditated for 24 hours in this cave, and after his stay there, the cave has gained prominence and has become very famous and a tourist attraction. The cave is also known as the Modi cave. Whether you are meditating or not, it is worth a visit, at least to enjoy the beauty of nature and to experience the serenity of the mind that this visit adds to. I did not meditate there, but definitely posed for the camera. अबे भाई इतना तो बनता ही है. Now, what are the facilities available at Rudra Cave? Number 1, drinking water. Number 2, electricity with charging points. Number 3, a single bed. Yes, a single bed only. Number 4, morning tea, breakfast, lunch, evening snacks and dinner. Number 5, a bell to call an attendant who is available 24/7. A telephone to call the facility manager in case of an emergency. Another thing, one has to book at least 3 days in advance and can be allotted only for a minimum of 3 days. The cave has been tastefully built, keeping in mind the traditional Garhwali architecture with stone walls, wooden doors and windows, cemented floor instead of the traditional mud floor, as well as slate roof. It has a small open veranda, which to me seemed to be the best place on earth. One can book the Rudra Meditation Cave from GMVN. For convenience, I have given the booking number in the description below. You can call on the number for further information and the current booking tariff. We started descending after about 3 hours on the top. As I wanted to capture photos and videos of wild Himalayan flowers, I did not take the normal path down. I stepped on to the green meadow in front of the cave and started descending through the meadows. Some of the snaps and videos captured by me. I hope you would like them. May is not the proper flowering season in the mountains. We were perhaps early by around 2 months. July-August is the time when the monsoon carpets any meadows in the Himalayas with greenery and myriads of wildflowers. Some of the flowers seemed familiar, me having seen them previously in some parts of the Himalayas, while for some flowers my eyes noticed them for the first time. This is Iris tectorum, commonly known as the roof iris or the Japanese roof iris. It grows about a foot tall with a spreading rhizomatous habit common to most irises. The leaves are light green and about a foot long. The flowers come in shades of lavender blue or bluish violet or blue lilac or purple blue or sky blue. In India, it is found all over the Himalayas and generally blooms between April and June. Here in Kedarnath, I found them in good numbers all around the place. This is the Himalayan cinquefoil. The scientific name of this flower is Potentilla agrophylla. The Himalayan cinquefoil is a beautiful Himalayan wildflower with bright golden yellow flowers and strawberry-like leaves. They are found at altitudes of 3,400 to 5,200 meters in the alpine meadows and rocky places of Bhutan, Northwest Himalayas, Uttarakhand, Nepal and Sikkim. In Uttarakhand, they bloom generally between June and August. This is a nice yellow flower which I feel belongs to the Genista family. However, I am not very sure about it. I think it could be Genista tinctoria, or the English name for which is Dyer's greenwood. I welcome my viewers to let me know the name of this plant in the comment section if they can identify it. This is the Himalayan fritillary. The botanical name of this flower is Fritillaria royalii. The Himalayan fritillary is a perennial herb found at altitudes of 3,200 to 4,600 meters in the alpine thickets, meadows, floodlands and moist places in the Himalayas. The flowering time is between May and July. It is an important Himalayan medicinal endangered herb and is commercially valued for its pharmaceutical significance. The bulb of this herb has been widely used for the treatment of bronchitis and is also an important constituent of Ashtavarga, Chawanprash and other Ayurvedic preparations in Indian system of medicine. This is Primula denticulata, commonly known as drumstick primula. This is a very attractive perennial plant with dense, rounded flower heads around 8 centimeters and comes in shades of pale lilac, rich purple, blue, pink or white. This perennial thrives in damp, shady environments and blossoms between April to end. I have come across them at many other Himalayan destinations. Here at Kedarnath, they are at present the predominant flowers and can be seen scattered all over the meadow. This is Caltha palustris, also known as the marsh marigold. In Uttarakhand, it flowers between April and August depending upon altitude and latitude. The main attraction of the flower is its bright yellow color, visible even from a far distance. Here in Kedarnath, I found it growing all along the streams and in rock crevices and among boulders. This is a long shot of the meadow, the path and the stream flowing by the side of the Rudra cave and dropping into the Mandakini river. After spending some time trying to capture different varieties, we paced our steps towards the temple as the bhajans of Anuradha Paudwal were audible from a distance, an indication that Aarti was about to start. We cast a longing, lingering look behind at the Modi caves and then proceeded on our journey towards the temple. On the way back, we passed by the confluence of the river Saraswati and the river Mandakini. We noticed the old damaged bridge which was previously used to cross the river Mandakini and reach the temple. We now had to rush as the aarti was just about to start. Jai Bhole Baba ki, Jai Kedarnath ki. It is a charged up atmosphere here. The temple is fully illuminated and the devotees are moving towards the temple courtyard. The bhajans of Anuradha Paudwal and the occasional clanging of the temple bells at a distance sound ethereal. The snow peaks of the Kedar range at dusk seem like a halo around the temple. We reached the mandir courtyard, which was full of devotees, and it was very difficult to manage a vantage position to shoot the aarti. Also, such was the rush that it was almost next to impossible to use the tripod. In fact, I could not place any tripod anywhere. My entire aarti has been shot in a handheld position. Friends, you may come across a lot of camera shakes during the aarti, as it was very difficult to avoid the jostling and pushing by the pilgrims and devotees. I hope you would excuse me for that and enjoy the experience of viewing the aarti from the comfort of your home. the Aarti is over and pilgrims make a rush to be blessed by the flames of the Aarti. I waited for my turn, and after a while the flames passed by us. We took the blessings of the Lord and vowed to come back again. Such is the aura of the Kedarnath temple that it keeps attracting you like a magnet. It just draws you towards itself. Friends, I have tried to capture the Aarti ceremony of Baba Kedarnath in its entirety. Whether an avid traveler or a dedicated devotee, you must have enjoyed it. I feel those auspicious moments constitute the summum bonum of human existence, the celestial bliss which pervades and soothes our soul. This is our last night at Kedarnath. Friends, tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. we will be performing the Rudra Abhishek Puja of Baba Kedarnath, and then we would trek down to Gaurikund. Our night stay would be at GMB and Rampur. Moving ahead, we would be going to Badrinath the day after. My next video would take you down that journey. So stay tuned in for my next video, and if you have liked this video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Till then, it's Jai Kedarnath Baba Ki Jai.